We got a lot of folks that are worried about money, and rightfully so. And I know this to be a fact because I'm getting asked and requested to cover certain topics. One of them actually being reparations and checks and payments being made to Black, African American citizens, or maybe just people who identify as Black. But we're going to save that for another video. What's more important is what I sent you. Actually, a few things.
Okay.
Well, what I sent you, as well as what just happened with one of your credit card companies and one of your banks. Yep. But who's that from? What is the title? And just go ahead and share that with the people, because I think maybe sometimes when this information is delivered on my videos, they misinterpret or miss the part where I say, I'm not making this up. Yeah. That is the important part too. This is from the horse's mouth. Yeah. Don't shoot the messenger. No. All right, so this is from AARP.org, and it says Social Security trustees project trust fund shortfall by 2034. It is literally a thing, so you can see. It says new forecast moves up date when benefits would be cut without action to shore up finances. Now, you want me to read the whole thing here? Yeah, sure. It says Social Security's trust funds could run short of money in 2034 unless Congress makes moves to shore up the system's finances, according to the latest projections from the trustees who oversee the funds. Now, the trustees' 2023 annual report, issued on March 31st, moves up by a year the estimated date when the combined funds that pay out Social Security retirement, survivor, and disability benefits to some 66 million people would deplete their cash reserves. If that happens, annual revenue into the program will be able to cover only 80% of benefits. Revised economic expectations are a factor in the change, the report states, with the trustees anticipating lower growth and productivity in the coming decade compared to last year's forecast. That translates to slower expected growth in revenue from the payroll taxes that largely fund Social Security. More than 3 years after the start of the C-19 pandemic, the acute stage of the pandemic appears to be over, but the trustees expect there will be residual effects on the population and the economy for years to come, according to the report. By contrast, for the second straight year, the trustees forecast a stronger financial footing for Medicare. They estimate the program's main trust fund, covering hospital insurance, will be able to pay full benefits through 2031, 3 years longer than projected last year. Now, today's Social Security and Medicare trustees reports reinforce that while they are financially strong today, both programs face long-term funding needs. AARP Chief Executive Officer Joanne Jenkins said in a statement, Congress must act to find solutions to ensure Social Security and Medicare will be there for the next generation and into the future. Now, the yearly report projects Social Security's fiscal health over a 75-year span based on economic and actuarial, is that right? Actuarial? Sure. Trends that affect how much the system collects in tax revenue and how much it pays out to how many people and for how long. Social Security is primarily funded by payroll taxes paid by most U.S. workers. At the end of 2022, the system had a $2.83 trillion surplus, according to the report, built up over decades of incoming revenue exceeding outgoing benefit payments. But, there's always a but the fiscal balance has shifted in recent years, with the ranks of retirees growing faster than the working population and beneficiaries living longer. To cover benefits, Social Security has begun dipping into the trust fund surplus and will exhaust it in 11 years, according to the new report. Now, that doesn't mean benefit payments would stop, but they would be funded only by each year's tax revenue. The trustees estimate that would cover about 80% of scheduled benefit payments. The Congressional Budget Office, which also tracks Social Security's long-term fiscal health, estimated in a December 2022 report that the program would be able to fully cover scheduled benefits only through 2033. You want me to read the rest? So, basically, what it boils down to me is that if and when this happens, which they've even discussed raising the full retirement age to cut back on how much the outflow is, they're going to have a lot of 62 plus year old folks out there banging down their door, right? I was about to say, yeah. But more importantly for me, unapologetically, I'm going to look to pay as little taxes as possible. As possible. I'm also going to look to begin receiving my benefits as soon as possible.
Yeah, because why would you want to pay into something that you won't get your money back from when you could keep your money now and use it to invest so that you have more money coming in later? Sure. You know what I mean? Like, that makes more sense.
And by then there's going to be some new reason why
they don't have the money or can't pay you out.
It's depleted and they can't pay. So what else you got there?
So according to this, the 2034 depletion data reflects a combined analysis of Social Security's 2 trust funds.
I like how you say 2034.
2034? Is that better?
You don't say 1,999.
1999. I'm going to party like it's 1999.
Party like it's 1,999.
That would have been a really long hook in a Prince song. Anyway, the 2034, depletion date reflects a combined analysis of Social Security's 2 trust funds, Old Age and Survivors Insurance, OASI, which pays out retirement and survivor benefits, and Disability Insurance, DI, which covers disability benefits. Taken separately, the OASI fund would be able to cover scheduled benefits in full until 2033, after which payments would be 23% less based on current projections. The trustees forecast that disability benefits will remain intact through at least 2097, covering the full 75-year scope of the report. Now, to avoid any shortfall, Congress would have to take steps over the next decade to address Social Security's finances. For example, by cutting benefits, raising taxes, redirecting other government revenue into the program, or crafting some combination of the above. Let me just go ahead and put it out there. The whole redirecting other government revenue into the program makes the most sense because they're spending stupid money on stupid things. $5,000 for a $10 garbage can for Air Force One? Are you freaking kidding me? Ridiculous.
Wasting money for Janet Yellen to fly to China to eat magic mushrooms. And trip out on this psychedelic trip and just bow continuously like that little the little duck that drinks the water, or the little kitten hand at the...
That's what I was thinking of, was the cat hand. Now, it says here, President Biden and Republican leaders in Congress have agreed to take Social Security and Medicare cuts off the table in negotiations over raising the nation's debt ceiling.
Like
I was just thinking the same thing, which is why I started talking.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. That's why I started talking to make you stop doing all that.
That's like Homer Simpson. He's like...
But like not in a good way. His is in a good way. He sees donuts and that's his face in the drool, or he sees Duff beer. But what you did, no, that's not good. There's not enough alcohol for that one. Let's see. Here we go. This is a promising time when leaders from both parties...
Do you think Janet Yellen is like super attractive because she manages all of the country's money?
No.
Despite the fact that she's not super attractive?
No.
Like how
if she was handling it better, maybe, but...
Like how inversely... young women find really, really old men super attractive because they have a lot of money.
Oh, you mean like the 18-year-old who's engaged to the 51-year-old Dane Cook? Because that's disgusting, but let's keep going. Let me go back to where we started. This is a promising time when leaders from both parties have committed... Well, actually, she was 18 when he was 45. Still disgusting.
He said that they were...
Friends for years before.
No. He said that they were
before they were in love. How do you... So at 43, he was in with a 16-year-old? There's bigger issues here than... well, this is still a big issue, but that's a whole nother issue. Okay. This is a promising time when leaders from both parties have committed to protecting these vital programs. It will take hard work to find bipartisan agreement, but today's report shows how essential it is that leaders in Washington come together for the good of the country, Jenkins says. Congress must take its responsibility to protect Social Security and Medicare seriously by developing a comprehensive plan and doing so in a way that is accountable and fully transparent to the American public. At what point in time has our government ever been fully transparent to the American public?
Sleepy Joe, he gonna jack this joker up real quick right before he steps out and just leave it all in pieces.
I mean, because he's already old enough and it's not like he can get it, right?
But, survivors...
The president can't pull Social Security, right?
Survivors are gonna... No, I think the president actually gets a W-2. So, yeah, technically, sure. But survivors are gonna be at risk. But then you gotta think, they're going to lower the cost of living or increase inflation, raise interest rates. Like, no matter what, it's going to be worth less.
Yes.
It's going to be worth less as far as the power of the ability to make purchases, the spending power, how far your dollars go.
I was about to say, if you're getting 80% at the end,
that was before the 80%.
Inflation has gone up. Yeah.
That was before the 80. That's before 80, which some are saying 75%. And then once you factor in FedNow, central bank digital currency, a CBDC, then your money is then going to be taxed multiple times and potentially experience negative interest rates and other restrictions and expiration dates on the money. But they're literally just kind of laying the groundwork now that over the next 10, 20, 30 years, the money's not really going to be there.
So here's what I think is like the suckiest part of it all. Like, you work your whole life, they mandate that you pay these taxes, that you put all this money in, and it makes it hard for you to afford living while you're working. And then when the time comes for them to give you your money back, they don't do it, and then it's harder for you to live while not working.
The money is tight. The money is scarce. We are in the middle of a liquidity crisis and an insolvency nightmare. The banks are panicking. The Fed is panicking. The Treasury is panicking unless they are tripping, off some magic mushrooms. But when they are coherent, seemingly, there's a problem. And this even happened just here recently with Yellow Freight, YRC Freight, and them having that $700+ million government bailout and still telling their employees that they may not get their pensions. And they're mismanaging and misappropriating the funds. There's a lot of wishy-washy stuff going on.
Think of it this way. If I have a job and my job involves me making sure that at the end of the night the money is correct. Let's say it's a retail job in the till. At the end of the night the money is correct. It's not over, it's not under, it's exactly where it's supposed to be. If I don't make that happen, guess what I don't have the next day? A freaking job. So why do the same people running our country who are just destroying our money and doing all kinds of stupid crap with it, why are they still in there? Why do they still have those jobs?
Because the people who are running the country are not running it based on merit. They're running it based on being able to check a box.
I was about to say tenure.
But it is becoming more apparent, and there have been 2 instances here recently within the last 15 minutes. And I will allow you to explain, and please share.
Okay, so 2 things.
If you got it.
2 things. I'll show you the screenshot of this. So I logged in. I have Bank of America. And I know people think, oh my God, why do you have Bank of America? Because I still need a bank, okay?
And it's the closest bank to Target.
And it's the closest bank to what?
To Target.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's the closest.
I've had Bank of America since I was 15.
And it's a Starbucks. They're right there.
Sure, that's where we're going. I've had Bank of America since I was 15. I've always had it. But I opened up my account. Nothing here that says anything. Okay, so I took a screenshot to show you. You guys see this little blue thingy right here? It says your 12-month savings rate offer. And I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'd love to see a new offer. What do we got? Enroll and deposit $50,000 of new money within...
Active desperation.
Within 30
Insert
days
active desperation.
Of enrollment. $50,000 within 30 days. So they're trying to
How many of y'all got 50 grand to throw into a savings account?
Just chilling, just to throw it in there. And what does it even say savings?
Let me tell you
savings rate offer,
Let me tell you this. How many of y'all got 50 grand to throw into a savings account that ain't gonna make you no money, and it's actually gonna lose you more money than inflation actually is chipping away at your savings?
And then when you want to go, hey, you know what? I'm gonna pull that 50,000 back out. They go, ooh, yeah, no, we don't have it actually in here. We've already loaned it to everybody else.
So you see the way our checking and savings is set up.
Yeah. They're gonna be like, why do you need the money? I'm gonna be like, what the hell is that?
The bank needs the money because they need the money.
Yeah.
So when someone else is saying, hey, I need to withdraw 50 grand, they're like, yo, we need somebody to deposit 50 grand. But that's just instance number 1.
So here's the thing. American Express. I love American Express because if there's an issue, they solve it just like that, right?
Insert active desperation part 2.
So I pay my American Express because I use it for everything. I don't use my bank card online. I don't use my bank card in the stores. I use my American Express because I get points back, and then I can use those points to pay bills.
Now,
I use it for everything.
You had pointed out there were some other features that you were saying, hey, add them to your card. You were talking about the other day. What was that?
So there's offers. So American Express, once you log in, they always have these offers that you can add to your card. And one of them right now is if you buy anything on bestbuy.com, you get like double points and stuff like that. There's other ones, if you're going to stay at a hotel and you book this kind of hotel, let's say you spend $300, they're going to give you $125 back. So for us traveling, the hotel thing makes sense. For him, he needs like some more stuff, maybe drone stuff, whatever. If you're going to buy it, do it online.
$125, shoot, that covered 2 nights of parking.
Do it online, use your card, bestbuy.com, get the points, turn around, use that money to pay off one of the bills, right? So Amex is great for that. That's why I love American Express. Plus, they're easy to get in touch with. There's the chat option. So I pull up my American Express, and it says I have a $29 late fee. And I was like, excuse me, Felicia, I don't think so. Because I'm never late on my bills. I pay like bi-weekly almost. And I've never seen what my minimum due is because I've always paid ahead of time. So my due date was July 23rd. Well, I happened to make a very large payment June 27th.
What?
So I'm thinking
June. Okay, June.
Yeah,
Got
I made it in June, and then it said I owed nothing, right? So I'm like, cool. Well, I just looked and it says I have a late fee of $29. So I jumped on. I'm in the app. I jumped on the chat and I said, hi, here's the issue, blah blah blah. And the lady said, well, what would you like us to do? And I said, I'd like you to take off this late fee because as you can see, I made my June 23rd payment on June 1st, and then I made my July payment on June 27th. They're all early. Nothing has been late. And she says, well, unfortunately, you paid your bill too soon. And I was like, that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
So basically what she's saying is you paid it too soon before the new statement rolled over.
So that was the problem. I paid it before the new statement rolled over. So it did not see the payment I made for July. It saw it as just extra money being paid in June. So therefore, it thought I was late. Joyce and I, her name was Joyce, we had a conversation, and Joyce was like, you know what, I'm going to take that $29 off. And I said, thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. And I said, and I'll go ahead and make another payment, even though it's really, in my mind, not necessary, but I can see where lines got messed up there.
The beauty of it, the good thing, it took you all of how many minutes to solve this through your app?
2 minutes.
Okay.
Because I didn't have to call anybody.
Through the app.
And I didn't
we're
have
sitting here driving down I-80.
Now, what's funny though,
I-80.
is from her texting or her typing, I could tell that she is foreign. The way the words come out and the everything else. Type like you talk.
Or it's translated.
Yeah,
or it's translated.
Speech to text. There we go.
But even 2 minutes for translated, that's not bad.
It still worked very well.
Now, speaking of the plus and the perks of these credit cards, you paid a portion of our business credit card. So not only, as I was trying to explain this on another video, all of this trip has been a business expense that we have not paid for personally. And ultimately, we reap the benefits of less in taxes.
Yes.
These are business expenses, cost of goods sold towards the products that we produce.
Yes.
So not only are we able to capitalize on that opportunity, we're also getting rewards points for using the cards, and then you make a payment
using those rewards points. We had like $1,200 in rewards points that we could either have put into our personal accounts. You can move it over to your personal account. And I said, you know what, just use it to pay towards this card that we've been using to pay everything else. So it keeps it moving.
Win-win.
Win-win.
Kill it.